So I've been teaching drums for a while now, and I've seen the same issues pop up in a majority of newer drummers. So today I'm just going to give you 5 things that you can change right now that'll make you a better drummer and, more importantly, prevent injury. So the first thing is fingers coming off the stick when we're playing. We want to maintain contact with all of our fingers on the stick at all times. The stick needs to breathe and move around, so we don't want to squeeze anything, but maximum contact means more control, better sound quality, and being able to stay relaxed. I see a lot of people with their fingers flying off the stick while they're playing, or even worse, the stick moving sideways in their hand like this, so the only option is to squeeze the stick on the front fulcrum. It's a bad habit that gives you no control, really bad sound quality, and it can end up damaging your wrist because you're holding the stick at a weird angle and squeezing, which is going to make your wrist bend in an unnatural, undesirable way. Drumming requires repetitive wrist motion, so any weird or bad shape in your wrist is going to eventually stress out your tendons and cause a bunch of problems down the road for you. We use every bit of our hand when playing drums for different reasons. We need our thumb to be there, we need all the rest of our fingers to be around the stick, and we need it to be relaxed. I have a couple videos about stick technique and the healthiest, most efficient way that we can hold the stick and use the mechanics in our wrist. So I'll link one of them right up here. But for now, just keep all your fingers on the stick, don't squeeze, make sure your wrist is as straight as it can be, and stay relaxed. So the second thing is having our drums not set up very well. The way you set up your drums is more important than you might think. And just because you're used to something, or it feels good to you right now, doesn't mean it's good for you in the long run. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way to set up your drums, but there are a few things that you don't want to do. If your snare's too low, you're going to end up reaching too much, making your wrist bend down more than it should. Repetitive motion like this is eventually going to damage your wrist. You might not even realize that you're doing it right now. But if your snare is too low, you're probably doing it. Same goes for if your snare is too tilted. A little bit of a tilt is fine, though I prefer flat. But too much tilt means you're attacking and rebounding at an angle, not utilizing the full natural rotation of your wrist. Kind of the opposite of what I just showed you. Now your wrist is too far up this way all the time. It doesn't let you utilize the rebound of the stick effectively, which is going to hurt your flow and your speed, and it puts more stress on your wrist, which can eventually lead to tendonitis, which we don't want. A healthy place for your snare to be is around your belly button area, give or take, and at an angle where the stick is going to go up when it rebounds and not towards you. If you make this change and you don't like it because you're hitting too much rim or something, take the time to get used to it. You will get used to it. On top of this, I see a lot of people with their hi-hats really far to the left or their cymbals super far away so they have to reach. You want everything to be right here in this compact area so you don't have to put any work into reaching things. Make sure your hi-hats aren't too low or too high, but at a good height and distance away from you to where you can relax your arm and still use your wrist when you're playing. We don't want to tense up our body just because of how we set up our drums. Same goes for sitting too high or too low. Be nice to your back and your knees. If you're young, you're not going to feel it now, but you'll feel it later. You want to sit at a comfortable height where your legs are just slightly angled, making it easy to play the bass drum and your hi-hat pedal. Also not too close or too far away from the drums, in a way where you can relax while you play and not have to lean for things. So the fourth thing is a little bit related to what I just said, and that is shoulder and arm tension. A lot of people end up tensing up their shoulders or arms when they're playing, either like tightening up right here and lifting a bit, or pushing your elbows out to play, or both. Those two things are terrible for your playing. They don't make you play better, they make you play a lot worse, and it's even worse for your body. In my experience, it seems like it's kind of natural to want to do this, especially when you're trying to play something a little bit harder or something you're struggling with. I don't know why that is, but you might not even realize that you're doing it. And the way you fix this is to be conscious of your body while you're playing and actively think of relaxing. Eventually, you won't have to think about it anymore, and you'll have the good habit of just being relaxed while you play. All right, number 4 is more just a bad habit, but can also injure yourself in a weird way. And that is slamming your pedals. There are so many ways to play your bass drum and your hi-hat pedal, and I'm not going to get into all that right now, but none of those ways should involve lifting your leg and taking your foot all the way off the pedal. If you're lifting up your leg and slapping the whole pedal with your foot, you'll either end up dropping beats because your input is hitting the pedal instead of using the mechanisms of the pedal to hit the bass drum, or you'll end up slamming the head so hard that there is no chance of being able to use any dynamics in your playing. The bigger muscle grips you use, the less efficient and slower you'll play. So whether you're playing heel down or heel up, keep your foot on the bass drum. Don't take it off. Don't use your whole leg. Think of manipulating the beater with the rebound and the spring, not slamming the pedal. All right, so this last bad habit is not one that will injure your body, but it will injure your soul. A lot of beginners don't know what to do with their hands when they're not using them. I mostly see the left hand hanging out in the air, just waiting for its opportunity to hit the snare drum, and as soon as it does, it goes right back. We want to get used to keeping our sticks down when we're not playing, and not up. Don't rest them on the drum or anything, just keep them low. We want them to be out of the way when we're playing so we don't end up clicking our sticks together. And we want to be able to flow with proper strokes. This is all about relaxing. We don't want to sit here with all this potential energy. When we lift our sticks up to play, that's called a prep. And that prep is fundamental for playing with fluidity and accuracy. But besides all the things I just said, it looks really silly. Just don't do it. All right, well, if this video helped you out, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, hit the bell icon because I got new videos coming out every week. I have videos for all levels of drumming, all the way from beginner to super advanced. Check the description for links to my website for lessons. There's also links to my Instagram and my music, which you can find on all platforms. All right, see ya.